Today is September 15th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob Ramsey, and we are brought to you each and every day by Munganess St. Louis Acura and Royal Banks of Missouri. Rammer, it is Cardinals and Phillies this weekend at Busch Stadium, and lots of good reasons to go to the games this weekend. I honestly, the crowds won't be as big as they usually are this time in September. The weather's going to be real nice for it, and some pretty good giveaways this weekend too, including the Cardinals sweater, the hockey sweater that they give away every year, different style. This one is powder blue, a powder blue hockey sweater with not the birds on the bats, it's the birds on the stick. That they have this year. Always a nice giveaway that they do with that. And then you have the Ozzie Smith, the Wizard bobblehead giveaway tomorrow, reminiscent of I can't remember what year it was that Ozzie did the Wizard, the promotional.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
I don't remember.
Yeah, the old promo wall poster from the late 1980s that they did. It's a remake of that, but in bobblehead form. And then also a first responders tumbler night this weekend. So lots of great giveaways this weekend. And you get to see a very good Phillies team and a future Cardinal in Aaron Nola tonight.
Wouldn't that be great? It's certainly on the wish list, I believe. Their lineup is terrific, especially since a struggling, and that's to put it mildly, Trey Turner, who I think maybe my favorite player in the league, and he was really struggling this year. He got a standing ovation as he had talked to the media about how it's really been eating away at him. And since that standing ovation from a crowd that is notoriously angry, he's been terrific. And maybe the missing link to make that whole lineup stay connected.
And more importantly, Rammer, his over-under for home runs at the start of the season was 23.5, and he has recently hit that number and gone over on that. For people that, watched him in person hit so many home runs at the World Baseball Classic and thought, hey, I'm going to throw some money on this guy for the season, and then around, July and August thought, God, that was a really bad investment. The month of September has been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't feel for you people at all. You made the wager. Whatever happens, happens. No sympathy or empathy from me.
The Phillies had the day off yesterday, just like the Cardinals did, but they came off a series in Philadelphia against Atlanta, having to face really all of the big throwers for Atlanta: Charlie Morton, Max Fried, and Spencer Strider. The past 3 games, so they come into this series probably looking forward to what they are going to see in St. Louis. Zach Thompson on the mound for the Cardinals tonight, 5-5 with a 4.06 ERA this year for the Redbirds.
I would tell the Phillies to be careful for what they wish. They will surely find it. Cardinals lineup is playing very, very well. Maybe no worse than a second-tier National League offense. By that I mean, you put a couple of teams with home runs and speed, and maybe even the Phillies ahead of them at this point in time. But after that, the Cardinals offense is as good as anybody, better than most. And the Phillies are going to have to play well. And that's what fans, the league, the competition should all expect. Okay, your team fell on its face, but you keep playing. You remain professional and try and make everybody else have to play to win.
The big one, Zach Thompson tonight, it's another audition for 2024, which we've talked about so many times. I would say one of the more concerning guys in the rotation here lately has been Miles Mikolas.
Oh, yeah.
His last 7 games, if we're just going with his last 7 games with the Cardinals, you can even go back the last 15 games with him. But last 7 starts for Mikolas, he is 1-4 with a 6.21 ERA and a WHIP of 1.43. He has not been very good. And if this is one of the guys that you look at and you say that's a guy that's going to be in our starting lineup or our starting rotation, without any question for 24, which I think is the case, that's a big question mark, I think, right now.
Well, by definition, and now I'm not trying to be a wise guy, it's not a question mark because he's in the rotation. Whether we like it or not, whether he's performed or not, that's just the deal. So, okay, maybe performance-wise, he ends up at the end of 2024 as your fifth best starter. I don't know what it's going to be. Even in this bad stretch, he's had a couple of games where, okay, that looks like the old Michaelis. So we'll see how that goes. So, with him and Matz, they're for sure going to be in the rotation, assuming health.
Yeah.
Are you going to bring in two more guys, maybe a third? You got three or four other guys competing for a spot or two. Those are the things that are up for grabs. So despite what we think of how Miles has been pitching, he's going to be there.
The Cardinals also, a bright spot in that Orioles series, aside from winning 2 or 3 games from one of the best teams in the American League, is the emergence of Richie Palacios, who had 3 home runs after coming in relief for Nolan Gorman in that game on Tuesday. I guess this is a guy we keep wanting to see more and more out of as the final weeks wind down and see what they might have out of the 26-year-old.
I don't know what the next 2 weeks will hold. 26-year-old guy just edging past prospect age-wise, 2 years ahead of Burleson. But, those two guys, 2 left-handed hitting outfielders on a 4-man bench, that might be a stretch, but if Edmonds is still here and Donovan can play, it gives you a little more versatility, and maybe you could carry both of them along with Kisner and then a mystery guy. I don't know who that last guy would be, but it's more likely that one of the two of them, meaning Palacios or Burleson, are on the squad. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but we won't know that until the beginning of April, probably.
Yeah, we did see, with Gorman on the injured list right now, you saw in the game on Wednesday, which we didn't really have a chance to talk about, but Palacios starting at second base, which I think a lot of Cardinal fans, if they're paying any kind of attention to the team, it probably took them by surprise because all you ever heard about Palacios was that he was an outfielder. Every game he's come into, he's been in the outfield. That was his first major league start at second base. He has primarily been an outfielder throughout all of his minor league career, but has played a lot of second base down in the minors.
And made a spectacular play on Wednesday night. Just missed getting the batter runner, but it was a spectacular play. If you folks missed it, look it up. Up the middle, backhand, sliding play, pop-up throw, good throw. Just missed the runner, but the play itself was athletic, spectacular, just like he's been playing in the outfield. Never fall in love in baseball, never fall in love or out of love in September or in March, but he's on the radar now for sure.
Other series around baseball to watch. The big one is taking place in Baltimore this weekend. It's Tampa at Baltimore, 4-game series. They're 1 game into to that, and I believe Tampa got the win last night, 4-3. Yes. I believe in the game yesterday. So now they are tied. Jack Flaherty on the mound for the Orioles tonight in that one. Also around baseball, if you look at the standings and kind of look at what games mean the most to some of these teams, or which ones have both teams in there. Fun one down in Arizona, Cubs and Diamondbacks. If you would have said that, if you would have looked at the schedule at the start of the year and thought that both teams were playing for something out of that, I would have said you were crazy. But this is probably the second biggest series this weekend in all of baseball.
Yeah, the Cubs are 2.5 games ahead of Arizona in the wild card. Really, it's San Francisco, Cincinnati, and Arizona all tied. fighting for that last playoff spot. But we also know all those teams will tell you they want to catch Chicago, they want to catch Philadelphia. They don't want to be in that third wild card. They want to be in the 1 or 2 slots. So this thing in the National League is pretty interesting, pretty crazy. Oh, and by the way, Miami, half a game behind those teams. They're still in it. They're going to be, if they don't make it, they'll be kicking themselves on Alcantara, who had a fade and now is not pitching. They've done everything they could, and it looks like they're going to be just a little bit short.
The other one to kind of look at too this weekend, and I think right now the Dodgers are in a kind of a weird spot. It's Dodgers, they're at Seattle this weekend. Seattle has that third wild card spot right now in the American League. They're a game and a half up on the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are 8 games back right now of the Braves for the number 1 seed. They are 6 games ahead of the Brewers for between the 2 and the 3 seeds. So
right.
They're set at number 2. They can start setting their playoff rotation. They know what they're going to be doing in October. They are really just kind of coasting to the finish line here to make sure they have their rotation set. Everyone's healthy. Yeah. Everyone's getting their reps. So, and playing in a series like that, the Dodgers are a really good team. Seattle has a heck of a lot more to play for in that series this weekend in Seattle.
They absolutely do. They're in that third spot, a game and a half ahead of Toronto, a game back at Texas, who, by the way, the demise, and I was one of those because the Texas bullpen absolutely blew up earlier this month, end of August into this month. Suddenly they've righted the ship and won how many in a row? 6? Won 6 in a row, nipping at the heels of Houston again. So these last 2 weeks are going to be wild and woolly in both the American and National Leagues. It's going to be really interesting.
But all that said, you know who the second hottest team in all of baseball is right now?
Depending on how you rank that, I would let me look. Second hottest.
Second hottest. That'd be your St. Louis Cardinals, 7-3 in their last 10 games. Only the Rays have a better record over the last 10 than the Cardinals. So
it is funny how in the last 10 days, just about everybody in baseball is playing kind of right around 500.
Yeah. It just that little September hiccups all around for some of these teams. So
and that's why I said earlier in the pod that the Phillies, and they know this. This is really to us fans and media types. Forget what the things are on paper. Oh, we get to face the Cardinals now. Okay, let's jump them. Okay, be careful because they have no pressure.
The Cardinals and Phillies tonight. That game is on Apple TV if you want to watch it. So you might just be stuck listening to it on KMOX and hearing John Rooney and Ricky Horton and Mike Claiborne on the call for the game tonight.
But not stuck. Be honored to be listening to the crew.
I'm stuck listening and not being able to watch the game. That's the only way that you can enjoy it if you don't have Apple TV. So
because most people will probably turn on the radio to hear Claibs anyway.
That's true. Tampa, Baltimore also on Apple TV tonight. So if you've so you can flip back and forth between those two if you do have Apple TV this evening. We are recording this so early, so we do not have any of those bootlegging lineups. But for those that might have missed the show yesterday, Rammer, you and I were at Bootleg and Bob's eating some Central State sandwiches last night. And I would guess after last night, that is not going to be your final time enjoying any of the Central State sandwiches.
Bootleg and Bob's, cold beer, tremendous, kind of a local pub feel, atmosphere, and Central State. Oh, that's as good a sandwich as you'll have. I'm telling you, folks. When Joe says it, you go, okay, maybe a little hype. When I say it, it's true. Really, really good because he uses fresh ingredients for everything. From the staple of the sandwich, whether it's beef or chicken or what have you, through the lettuce and tomato and all those things, and the bread, often missed from a sandwich maker. Not with our boys. The bread, the pièce de résistance, and a marvelous sandwich.
And we'll get, once you start making your way down to Chaffetz more and more this fall, Rammer, we'll get you over to Bootleg and Tavern there in the Grove. Get you those wings and those burn ends too down there. So
I think that is a post game spot, no doubt.
Rammer, you are on the road this weekend, but hopefully you can catch some of the games. We will be back on Monday before Cardinals and Brewers down at Busch, and another Adam Wainwright starts as he goes for number 200. Until then, we are brought to you by our folks at Munganess St. Louis Acura and also Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
He's Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. Have a great weekend of baseball, everybody. Bryce Harper's in town. Go down to the ballpark and check out a future Hall of Famer on the Philadelphia Phillies this weekend. Until then, this has been Daily Cards Live right here on ClaibsOnline.com.
Munganess St. Louis Acura has a great selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras. Get 3.9% financing for up to 36 months on all new Acura models, or get $1,000 in loyalty incentives on the 2023 TLX and RDX, and $750 in loyalty incentives on the 2024 Integra. Get financing as low as 1.99% for up to 36 months on certified pre-owned TLX and MDX models. Munganess St. Louis Acura.